Okay, I am buttoning my NT700 back up. I put new spark plugs in. I changed the spark plug caps today. These things right here, these are on the internet as being a problem for these machines because they get old and they get cracked from age and being baked in that hot environment, and they develop leaks. And when I say leaks, that means that the spark will jump out of there to something close, like a piece of metal. It will jump out. Have you ever been hit by a spark plug wire? Well, that spark plug wire had a leak in it. And I changed the plugs, and they weren't worn. They weren't showing signs of age. When a spark plug is worn, the gap, that piece sticking out of the insulator inside the plug body there, the edges of that will start to round. And when they do that, they lose up to 60% of their voltage. But the gap that was not rounded, and the arm that changes the gap, that was not really eroded away. So they weren't old, but they weren't really up to temperature. I have been having trouble with the way this is running. Now you be nice to that squirrel. And so that's why they're a little dark. But while I had it apart, I threw in new plugs and the new Honda, the Honda spark plug caps. And of course it has a new air cleaner. I put that in a few months ago when I first got the machine. And I checked the valves today. None of them were loose. It only has 7,500 miles on it. So it's getting there. I'm going to be putting new horns on. I got those horns right there. And I'm going to do a video showing how to wire horns. If I can find a good mounting spot for these. There's the original one. It's not a bad one. Not a bad horn. But I like the attention that two horns get. Not that I'm craving attention that way, but it would be nice to avoid an accident. But yeah, here's the other one. I coated my spark plug wires from the coil all the way down and under this boot, and under this boot, and inside the cap with dielectric grease, silicone grease. And I've had a lot of good luck doing that over the decades. So in my road racing machines, my trials bikes, and my dirt bikes, riding through creeks and getting caught in storms, I never had a spark plug. I never had an electrical issue with a spark plug failing because of bad spark plug wire or bad cap. And that's saying something. Back when I road raced two-strokes, that's back in the days where you rode with two fingers on the clutch lever ready for it to seize when you let off. They let off at the end of long burns. You're on a long straightaway in sixth gear, and then you've got to go down to second gear, and you're braking and you're letting off and doing a little bit of coasting towards the turn. That's when they'll squeak on you, which I found out on my TZ250. I woke up in the hospital 2 days later. I had that helmet on. The doctor said to me, "Can you move your fingers?" And when he said that, I said, "I'm done." So this is coming along, and I sold my Kawasaki. I sold it 2 days ago. They're going to Pick it up Friday. Nice bike. I tried, I had it for 2 years, and now it's time to try something new, and that's this. That's why I bought this in November. I wanted something with more permanent, a little more storage, and a much better seat, and some weather protection. And that was the plan all along. I tried to make that a smaller Sport Tourer with a taller windshield, although it's not very tall. And I put a rack and a trunk on it, and a Corbin seat, which was very big improvement. But after riding this, I decided to sell that. Just because it's comfortable. Like that, but not as big. So I'm going to rough it and go down to the minimum, just 2 street bikes. So that's where I'm at today. I just thought I would make a video. I haven't made a video because the weather's been winter. But it's shaping up here. It's the end of March. And riding season is just about here. I have been out a couple times this year. But anyway, that's what's going on, and I will be making videos about installing the horns on this. You know what I wanted to do while I'm thinking? I wanted to see if this is an aluminum frame. And it is not. It's steel. I thought it might be. The English say that correctly. Aluminium, not aluminum. You know that word aluminum came about by some guy going to apply for the patent or something like that, and he misspelled aluminium. I had to use my spark plug tool for this machine that I bought on eBay to get the spark plugs out. It was a little bit tough. Where the heck is it? I've always told my kids, my boys, that when you're trying to find a shortcut, you think you can find a shortcut and make it easier. But actually, and I would tell them, no. The hard way is actually the easy way. And that was the case here. Because there's the spark plug in there. And I was trying to get my hand up through the bottom or through this grill opening here. And I just couldn't. So I was trying to avoid taking all this off. But there's a case of the hard way is the easy way. So you need the very special socket with a swivel on top to get the spark plugs out of this machine. My Honda Pacific Coast had a similar tool, and that had 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and you were not getting those spark plugs out if you didn't have that factory tool. But that was a toughie. Which side was? This one was the toughest, but I had to take the plastic and move it away and take off the air box and get it out of the way so I could get down in there to get the other spark plug. And I changed the spark plug caps too, because they here's the spark plug right in there. So there was no shortcut to starting and finishing this job. It was a case of the hard way is the easy way. Now you can see how my spark plug wire and my coil there are coated with shiny dye electric grease. work that into the spark plug wire and the spark plug cap. And hopefully this thing will run right. Because it had a just off idle little hesitation every once in a while on my last ride. And I thought, here we go again. And here, that may have been the problem all along. You know, meaning I had two problems with this machine. Clogged fuel filter from the stabilizer the original owner put in, and the bad spark plug caps, which this is acting just like they say on the internet it is. It does. At low RPMs, it'll kick and buck every once in a while. And if you've seen my very first ride video on this machine, that's what it was doing. I thought it was throttle position sensor in that video. To tell you the truth, I know nothing about fuel injection. I remember the FJR having throttle position sensors problem, and they also had throttle by wire problems when they first came out with the FJR. And that was the first thing that jumped into my head. Oh boy, throttle position sensor. Because it was when I turned the throttle that it would buck. But anyway, it's coming along. I figured out how to mount my bell. I got one on my Venture. I couldn't find a spot on my Kawasaki for that. But why do I have that on there? You'd be surprised how many smiles I get with that. Instead of, you beep the horn at someone you know, and, my horns are a little louder than you'd expect, just like I like. But, just doing this, you get their attention. I like going through a big crowd at a bike night. There's one bike night they have in Sharon, Pennsylvania, at Quaker Steak and Lube. They draw 5,000 bikes there on an average nice warm night, like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, whenever they have them. Maybe it's Monday. I don't remember exactly the day, but I always got a kick out of going through all those hog riders, jinging my bell. The guys would look at me like, who's this idiot? And their girlfriends would look at me like, oh, isn't that cute? What else is going on? That's about it. There's a shield. Now it's kind of dark. Let me get my flashlight. There's a shield that you're not getting the front valve cover off. My light it's below the coil there. It's sort of like an air scoop. There's a scoop below the coil here that goes to that thing shaped like a dustpan. You can see it in there. Okay, well, that thing has a problematic way of connecting to the bike. I had the two hooks. Where are they? Can't see them anymore. There's two plastic little hooks, like this hook right here, that holds this contraption. Okay, well, there's two of them in the front that hold this dustpan looking thing. Where is it? Right there. Okay, they clip on right here and here, and if you don't unclip them when you want to take that shield out to get your valve cover off to check your valves, you ain't getting it out. So you have to look and realize that that's there. What's this? Oh, that's my electric grip wiring. Right, that's my heated grips wire harness. And that's about it for now. I just have to button this job up tomorrow. I don't want to rush it. And I'll take her out. Hopefully I get to ride it this weekend. It's Wednesday. But getting at the valve covers, there's only 2 bolts that hold the valve cover on. Right there, and one under my finger right there. There they are. That's it. And it comes right up. No scraping. It's a O-ring type black flexible gasket that you just use over and over. So no problem there. Anyway, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. I'll button this up tomorrow. And I hope to be making videos on my progress and how this runs if I finally cured it from the gas problem I was having. When all this stuff was in the gas, this filter filtered all of that. Almost looks like cement in there. That was a brand new red filter. And this is only about half of what I got out of there. The rest was packed into the fuel filter inside the gas tank. I was pulling this out, I think. Well, I have videos showing how I did it. I pulled the gas out of the gas tank with this pump with a filter in front, through the filter, through the pump, and back into the gas tank. I did that for a couple hours, and that's how I got most of this stuff out. This stuff is as dry as chalk in there. And that was the fuel stabilizer, I guess, that the original owner put in this machine. So I made a note to self, don't use stabilizer. And I'll see you later.